TaxAct knows every small business owner has different tax filing needs. With TaxAct, you can file yourself with the help of an expert, or TaxAct can do it all for you. You're the boss, the head honcho, the top banana. And TaxAct is like your loyal, trusty tax aide, ready to pounce on any tax needs you might have. TaxAct is dying to pounce on some small business tax needs. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Warning: this show contains strong language, brutal opinions, and zero apologies given. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to Savaged Unfiltered, where truth gets raw, opinions stay real, and nothing is off limits. This isn't your average podcast. It's the unfiltered conversation you've been craving. Politics, culture, chaos, we're diving into it all. No scripts, no safe spaces, just savage takes and real talk. You're in the right place. Strap in. It's time to get unfiltered. Savage.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to the show. Welcome to Savage Unfiltered. I'm your host, Savage, and joining me is the always lovable old man. Welcome in, buddy. How's it going?
Hey, thank you. It's going good. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us, man, what have you been up to?
Well, a little this, a little that, ticking people off on TikTok and X, making them mad because
You're always pissing people off. I think it's a daily thing for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. I get on there all the time, and I'm always, I never used to be politically activated until Obama was president, and even when he first started his presidency, I wasn't activated. But then he said he was going after my guns.
He's going after your what? Your guts?
My guns.
Oh,
he was going after our guns, and that ticked me off.
Yeah, we gotta watch that. We gotta watch the G word, Tom, because the pew pews. You gotta say pew pews every now and then. So sorry, Spotify. Spotify probably looking at me like I'm a fucking deranged lunatic. What the hell is a pew pew?
That's what amazes me. Now, see, liberals can say whatever they want on this platform. But if I call someone a fat bastard, I get a community violence. Violation. It's like, really, come on.
I hear you.
I'm serious. I had one guy cussing me out. I had a guy cussing me out, calling me all kinds of names.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you fat bastard, you'll find out for sure." And I got community violation. What?
Yeah. I got five. You remember what happened to us last week? We got five in like less than an hour, man. Good grief. They're hitting me hard on TikTok. They can't stand. This is like my 9th account on TikTok. I have to start all over again.
Oh, see.
My first account, I had up to 365,000 followers. My second count, a little bit lower. Third count, a little bit lower, because that's where they were starting to go after me, right? Fourth count, a little bit lower, up to like the 7th, 8th, I got it right back up to like almost like 90,000. So now I got to start all over again. It's just
I've heard of a lot of.
They do not want me on this platform. They can't stand me on this platform.
I've heard of a lot of people having that happen to him. That one guy, White Rabbit, that guy is constantly having to reboot himself.
Yeah, and I agree with our folks there on TikTok, right? So there's no be kind movement here. That sounds not so PC. I love it. Yeah.
I'm the furthest thing from PC. I think
being kind doesn't exist on TikTok.
The only thing further away from me from PC is you, Savage. You're further away from PC than I am. But we're really close. We're neck to neck.
We're on the other side of the country, Tom. I'm on the East Coast, and I don't want to dox you, but you're on the Pacific West, right?
Pacific Northwest. Yeah, baby. I don't care. I don't care. I would invite someone coming to my house and harassing me. Please.
Oh, God.
Please.
Killing me. So anyway, today we're gonna be talking about, guys, what I like to call it, own who you are, right? Whether you want to own your character, your persona, but never change it for anybody in this world. Okay, because you only get this one merry-go-round in life, right? That's it.
All right. That's true.
That's it.
Yeah.
So,
You got to be true to yourself.
yeah,
Be true
absolutely.
To yourself. Own who you are. Own who you are.
Yeah, be true to yourself, own who you are, love who you are before you love others.
Mm-hmm.
And I live by that analogy. So joining us today, I got two panelists on here. I have Sid. Welcome in, Sid. How you doing?
Hey, Sid.
That's where it goes to you, Sid, to unmute. There we go. Sid's here. Okay. So welcome in, Sid. How's it going today, bud?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty good. I was just thinking what you said about TikTok. Donald Trump himself said whoever does best on TikTok will have his jobs one day.
He did say that.
Believe that? I think TikTok is the nadir. Yeah, he said that, and TikTok is like not even a good way to have civic discourse, in my opinion. But it's all we've got now.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Has anybody noticed how the mental decline is starting to go up in America, especially for this platform?
It's getting bad.
Platform.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, people are. Yeah, they're losing it. The people are losing it. It's like all the patients from those mental wards have escaped, and now they're out running rampant.
Hey, I just have one thing before we start the show. Can we start a petition right now on TikTok for them to grant permission where I could take the same production that me and Tom are on through our network and cross stream it on here, so I don't have to go fucking dinosaur mode on TikTok and use another device? Can we actually have a petition to bring Savage on TikTok with professional streams? Is that not hard to ask for?
I'll sign it. I'll sign it.
I need you to sign it. That's it. Sign it. And then also joining us today, we have Rosa. Hello, Rosa.
Hey, love. What's up?
Good. So what's your take on this this whole thing, this whole ordeal? We're right up there on mental illness today because it's a high concern. I believe.
Perfect. I love talking about mental illness. Let's not even bring up the fact that gender dysphoria is in the DSM-5.
Wait, slow down, Rosa. Say that one more time. She's super fast with it.
But let's not even bring up the fact that gender dysphoria is in the DSM-5, classified as a mental illness.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. I kind of like where you're going with that. So explain a little bit more.
No, it's like LGBT community does not want really anything to do with the T and everything thereafter, due to the fact that the T and thereafter did not fight for rights or anything like that. They just rode on the coattails of the LGBT. Now, there's so much to say about mental illness nowadays. I think it became a bursting phenomenon when C19 became like a thing, right? Because everyone was stuck in their house and people became very introverted, and
sure,
even more so with the masks, and they became very anxiety ridden with it. People actually wanted to continue wearing the masks because it was keeping themselves more hidden. The fact that mental illness is so rampant among the United States, and everybody you look at is either on an anti-anxiety, antidepressant, mood stabilizer, something like that, I think it's just absurd. Like, deal with life. You don't need medication to deal with life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with what she's saying, Tom. We don't need the medication in today's society. I think it's making a hell of a lot worse. It's uproaring our temper in this nation. It's making people go crazy. I mean, you see it like all the time, Rosa. You see people just, oh my, oof, yeah.
I knew it was starting. I knew we were going to start having problems when, when I saw my grandkids. My grandkids were starting to get ready to go to school. They're like 4 or 5 years old, and all of a sudden now they want to drug them. They want to drug them. My daughter calls me. I got to put G on drugs. Why? Because he's running around inside the house, bouncing off the walls, and they say he needs drugs to calm him down. I go, no.
We can't say that word on TikTok. It's D-Rugs. D-Rugs. Say D-Rugs.
Yeah.
Here's a joke, guys. You guys are probably laughing your ass off on X and Rumble. Like, we're allowed to say those words on there. Yeah, because free speech exists on those platforms. You can even say it on Spotify. I could say 90 plus other words on Spotify without getting canned or
if you're a
booted.
Democrat, you can even say it on TikTok, but only if
you're
a liberal.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me say medication. How's that? Is that okay? Is that better? Medication? They want to put him on medication?
Yes.
So anyway, she says, and I go, well, I told her, don't medicate him. She goes, well, what am I going to do? I go, take him outside, let him run around outside in the fresh air.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No,
Let him fresh air. Let him get outside and get his anxieties out. That's what my mother used to say up north.
yeah. No, but we have a very bad brain issue. See, I don't even know what to say now.
Yeah, you sound like a 5-year-old, right? Isn't it?
It's like what do I say? I can't say anything, you know.
Right? That they're pushing so hard the SSRIs in school because they just want sheeple. They want sheeple to sit down, to cooperate, to like be zoned, you know, to be like zonked out, so they're quiet. They follow directions. You know, the scandemic, I feel like, really had a large influence on that too. Like they wanted to see how well they could control America and make them take like things in their body that maybe they didn't want to take. Essentially, it was a flu shot, right? It was a flu on steroids. Let's be real, C19. You know, like and you mandated to take a thing for that, to go to work or to stay in the military. Like flu shots are optional. Last time I checked.
Yeah, they are. They are.
But Trump was the dictator. But Trump's the dictator, not the Biden administration, making everybody do all that stuff. You know,
speed, right? But Biden's the one who mandated it, which he had to take off within 2 months because it was largely illegal to do.
You can't say that. You know, there's a thing right now with that whole ordeal. Yeah. Go ahead, Sid. I know Sid's coming in here, man. Go ahead, Sid.
Oh, well, I was just going to, you know, I'm at 20 years schizophrenic now. I've been treating schizophrenia.
Sid, we're losing you really bad, buddy. I'm just letting you know. You're getting a lot of bad disturbance, Sid.
It's the only way I can function.
Sid, I'm going to have to drop you. I can't hear a word you're saying, pal. Yeah, sorry, bud. We're just getting bad disturbance on your end. So I do want to bring up another panelist here. We do have, what is this? I don't know who the hell this person is.
Gravel's down there, too.
Yeah, I seen somebody come up, and I'm like, okay, where'd they go? All right, well, I guess. But anyway, Emperor, where do we go from here? You know, I do want to bring this into here with you guys. Literally, okay? Today is January 20th, 2026, right?
Right.
What we're recording this on, folks, right? So you're probably hearing this now in the future. And right now, statistically speaking, millions of us are feeling something we rarely admit out loud. Loneliness. Not the occasional, I wish someone was here kind, but the deeper ache of dissection. Help me out, Tom. Disconnection. There we go. God damn,
you're asking me to help you with words?
Help me with words, man.
You forgot who you're talking to, buddy.
No, listen. Like the phones are buzzing. Yeah. No, the phones are buzzing and our feeds are full, but the calendars look busy. Does anybody know what I mean by that? Like that's the disconnection that I see right now in the country. Right? Everybody's worried about their phones. Everybody's worried about like who's doing what. Rather than spending time with another. Right? Putting the damn phones down every now and then and saying, hey, how are you? Or, hey, babe, how was your day? I love you too. Does anybody know how to say that anymore?
No. You know, one thing we talk about on my podcast, the Old Man's Podcast, that airs every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern on Podbeam. We go live. Anyway, what we always talk about,
You went right to that plug, Tom. I love it.
Yeah. But the one thing we talk about all the time is that's the one drawback to modern technology. Because it's made people rely so much on some kind of screen. You know, there's no face-to-face conversation with anybody anymore. There's no sit down and look at somebody in the eye and talk to them anymore. You know, everything's done through a screen. Everything's done through a text message, an email. Nobody talks to, and then plus two on X. This is another thing too, because of all these facial filters everybody uses. You don't even know who anybody even looks like anymore.
I agree.
Because there's this thing I saw come across that said, "Ladies, stop using the facial filters on your face, because if anything happens and you disappear, we'll never know what you really look like, so we can find you.
Oh God.
But it's true. I mean, it's true. We don't have a one-to-one conversation. I mean, like Mike, you and I, we talk on the phone.
Oh, we talk all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
we talk all the time. I mean, I'm like your best friend, literally.
You are.
I mean, you don't know when to put the phone down sometimes, but it's okay. I love you, Tom.
But we talk on the phone all the time, and that's the only thing. I got friends in Europe that I talk to regularly too on the phone, and we'll FaceTime. So I mean, we're actually looking at each other while we're talking. But
yeah, but that's digital connection, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like there's no real connection right there.
No, it's still not sitting in a pub, sharing a beer, talking face to face. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not the thing.
Again, does anybody know how to do that, right? Does anybody know how to say simple words like I love you, thank you, I miss you, I'm thinking of you? Don't. No, they don't. So here's my next question.
Harder, right?
What's that?
It's become increasingly harder with the amount that people work, have families. They all have to work. Like the nuclear family is not like how it was.
Yes and no, but
like both parents come home from work
and
they're exhausted. It's a power struggle when they get home because someone always wants to wear the pants. They got to deal with kids. They got to do dishes. They got to make dinner. They got to this, that, the third. Kids go to school. They're not home. And it becomes like a electric interaction, like not electric, like a social media almost interaction. It becomes like a not physical interaction. People can't even hold eye contact when you have a conversation with them anymore.
Yeah. Well, before I go to the other panelists on TikTok, I want to ask this question. How did we get here? How did society that invented infinite ways to connect end up feeling so profoundly alone, more or less?
The evolution of technology.
I mean, like we have Skype. Well, I don't think anybody uses Skype anymore, but we have FaceTime. We have, we have video calls now on our cell phone. We have, we have these type of, features on TikTok where we could talk to people, but are we taking advantage of it too much and not going back to our original roots as human beings?
We are addicted.
I think COVID really started a lot of divisiveness.
Yeah.
And people were angry because they found out that the JABs weren't what they thought they were.
Right.
I think that was very divisive, and it ruined our children. Or look at the kids.
Yeah.
How sad.
They were stuck at home, homeschooling on laptops for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like that was rough, especially for parents younger kids too.
My pastor's wife was a teacher, and she couldn't go a day without crying because her students were falling so far behind.
Exactly.
Doing virtual, yeah.
Savage.
Yeah.
It boils down to desensitization via technology, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Before all this stuff came around, you would have to sit face to face with somebody, and you could read their body language. People knew
exactly.
Conversation about how the person was receiving it.
Right.
We've lost all that, and it's all due to technology because we've cut the human factor out.
Exactly.
Technology.
And people are free to say whatever. People are free to say whatever they want to say. No matter how hurtful, how deceitful, or anything, they can say whatever they want to say because there's not that risk of the guy reaching across the table and giving you a little tap on the cheek. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that every now and then, but God forbid for that, right?
Say whatever they want to say because there's a screen in between them. They're not physically like a lot of people wouldn't say half the things they say on online to somebody's actual face.
Mike Tyson said something. Mike Tyson said people get away with saying what they want on the nowadays because they're not faced with the option of being punched in the face, and that's true.
Faces, the hate crimes, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why it is. That's why
I want to play this video here. Check out this video. I want to play this video about this gentleman literally putting out a TikTok video in literally the same aspect of the discussion we're talking about here. Check this out.
Fear, depression, anxiety, all these things are a result of trying to go at this life on our own. We weren't created that way. We were made to go after this thing with God, in relationship with God. In Deuteronomy, it says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. He's with you every step of the way in everything that you're going through. And in Jeremiah, it says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans for hope and a future. God is with you. God is for you. Do not be anxious for tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself as long as you're with God.
This is powerful words right there.
Yes.
That's what we need to get back in this nation, right? It's okay. Let me say one thing before I bring it back to the panelists. There's nothing wrong by engaging digitally online, whether it is TikTok lives or, Twitter X Spaces or Discords or any other pieces of software to get us engaged with one another. That should be left as a temporary basis if we're not physically there to begin with. But
Agreed.
please do not forget the spiritual bond between humanity of how it was seated on this earth, meaning that if I'm talking to Rosa, right, we would have more of a spiritual connection in the conversation if she was literally here.
Exactly.
If I was speaking to her through this platform. You know what I mean? That's what I want back in America, because I think social media is really, really getting the best of people's mental estate in that
If
aspect.
you're a weak individual, if you have a weak mind state, I mean, like me personally, you know me, Savage. I would say what I'm saying on here to anybody's face.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. But it's the fact of being PC now. Like I go on some panels, like and some liberal panels, and they and I literally ask, I'm like, well, so can we just say like whatever we want here? You know what I mean? Like, is that just how it goes? I mean, people are so offended nowadays. Like the TQ community. Like if you misgender them at work or something, like they can literally go to HR. You can be written up. You can
Ridiculous,
be fired,
ain't it? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Lying even.
When did being offended become popular? How did that even come to fruition? It's like everybody now wants to be offended by something, and they think it's cool.
I think under Obama.
Here's a better question. When did being offended become such a powerful thing?
Yeah, right on, Bob.
I mean, if you're offended, man, I mean, you rule the roost. It's like, I don't care that you're offended. I really don't. And that's one of my favorite things I say. As a matter of fact, I was accused of when I worked, I was the quality manager at a multi-million-dollar titanium factory. The executive vice president comes up to me and he goes, you know what your problem is, old man? I go, what's that? He goes, you don't care. You don't care what anybody else says. You don't care what other people's opinions are, because, well, my job was to make sure that the product went out the facility correct and, acceptable. And I didn't care. You can give me all the arguments were right. If it wasn't right, it wasn't right. And I told him, I says, well, Rick, let me ask you a question. If you believe that that's how I am, what makes you think I care what you're saying? I don't care. And I don't care that people are offended.
Hang on. I want to go to our panelists on TikTok real quick, Tom, because I got to get a quick break in. But I'm gonna go to Rosa, and I know I just basically got Gravel back up here too. So I want to go to Rosa, and then I'll go quickly to Gravel, and then we got to get a break. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rosa.
Define a social construct for me, please. At face value, or what they say it is.
Yeah.
What is it?
Shit, nobody knows anymore.
No one knows what that is anymore, because they can't comprehend it. And I'm not trying to be mean or cruel or anything, but that's the damn God honest truth.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. If you get enough idiots to believe the same concept, it becomes true.
I've never seen so much hatefulness. I just started doing this TikTok stuff, and I've been on like 3 pages today, and they just cuss each other out. They don't hear each other.
Yeah.
It's so divisive.
Yeah. Guys, hold that thought. I got to get a quick break. Don't go anywhere, guys. I got to get literally a break with one of my sponsors. Be right back after these short words, guys.
Before we dive back into shredding the latest leftist nonsense on this episode of Savaged Unfiltered, let's talk about what keeps me fueled for these no-holds-barred rants. Blackout coffee. That's right. This episode is proudly sponsored by Blackout Coffee, the unapologetic premium brew for real patriots who refuse to sip on weak woke garbage. We're talking small batch roasted, bold flavors that pack a punch. Whether it's the brutal awakening dark roast to kickstart your day like a red pill revolution, or fan favorites like cinnamon French toast and blueberry crumble for that all-American taste without the BS. Blackout Coffee isn't just about the caffeine. It's a stand for American jobs, values, and freedom. Roasted fresh and shipped fast, so you get that uncensored strength in every cup. No compromises, no apologies. Just pure patriotic energy to keep you awake, not woke. And listen up, because they've got a savage deal for our listeners. Head over to blackoutcoffee.com and use code SAVAGED15 at checkout for 15% off your order. Stock up on those 12-ounce bags, K-cups, or even grab some gear like their badass tumblers to show your colors. Support the fighters, fuel the fight. Get your Blackout Coffee today and join the unfiltered revolution. Now, back to the show. Let's savage some more truth bombs.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the show. Yeah, you got to choose Blackout Coffee. I mean, they're amazing.
Savage, I can't hear you.
Amazing stuff. Like Blackout Coffee. Oh my God, it's great stuff. You like Blackout Coffee, Tom?
I never drank it. I'm sorry. I'm a Black Rifle coffee guy and have been since 2005. That's what I drink. I like them. But I hear good things about Blackout Coffee.
Yeah, I hear you. No. Choose Blackout Coffee, guys. Use promo code SAVAGE15. We're going to give you 15% off your order at checkout. Everything on Blackout Coffee. Blackoutcoffee.com. Their merchandise, their mugs, their I mean, just about everything. So choose them out today.
Sorry, guys. Gotta go.
All right, take it easy, Cher. Take it easy.
I guess
today we have. Hold on, Tom. Hold on. I want to get this panel up here because we're gonna kind of close it off with TikTok. I don't want to focus too much on. What are you doing, man? What are you doing, man?
You're yelling at me. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, we got Gravel here. Welcome in, Gravel. How you doing, pal?
Hey, Dave Savage, thanks for having me up, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing peachy, man. I'm at least I'm trying to. I've kind of got in the whole web of attacks from the left lately. With this whole, Trump derangement syndrome. I don't know where to start. I've been called a racist. I've been called a homophobe. I've been called this. I've been called that. Again, I mean, I'm just kind of like going with the flow with it. But today, I mean, I'd like to kind of challenge the fact that through all of this, I want to challenge the left. Who are they?
Yeah.
Do they really own who they really are? That's the question today.
And why are they so mad? Why? Why are they so mad?
Savage, if I may, that's a great question because I don't know that any of us know that answer. I mean, I'm like, what the heck is going on with people here?
There's something wrong with them. I can tell you. Yeah, there's something wrong with them, Gravel.
They're under the power. They're under the power of the media and the Democrats. They only do and react how they're told to do and react. It's just like anger. One time I asked somebody a couple of years back, I did a TikTok video. And I said, hey, why are you so angry? Why are you angry? Why, honestly, are you so angry? And I'll tell you why you're angry, because the media tells you to be angry, but you don't know why you're angry. You're just angry.
It's funny. You're funny you bring that up, right? I started to kind of question this. It isn't just a personal feeling anymore. It's a public health signal, right? Now, I don't always agree with WHO, right, which is the World Health Organization. They say that 1 in 6 people worldwide experience significant loneliness. So let me count, me, you, Rosa, Gravel, and that guy. Out of, 6, 7 of us, one of us experiences significant loneliness. I'm not making fun of any of us, but it's It's
The
it's
odds are there. The odds,
yeah, it's
odds are there.
statistics.
Yeah.
So one of us is now experiencing loneliness out of all 6 of us.
Damn it, Savage, you got me, buddy.
I got that guy. He's the one. He's the one that's experiencing this loneliness. Yes.
You
Yes.
got me.
So, and then also they go into saying linked to roughly 100 deaths every hour from related health impacts. Now, this can include alcohol abuse, drug abuse, high levels of depression that leads to schmericide. Yeah, Tom, I have to talk like a 5th grader for TikTok. The people on Spotify are probably like, what the hell? Does this guy not how to speak correctly? No, I have to speak like this because, they give us little red banner things on the TikTok.
Well, we ought to do 2 shows. We ought to do a show where we can just talk for we want for Spotify, and then we can talk like 4-year-olds for TikTok.
But it's sad though because you look at these reports, man, and 40% of the adults over 45, right? They literally report that one particular part, loneliness.
So
Loneliness.
We're the most unhealthy nation in the world. I think England might outrank us with mental illness.
I doubt it.
But we're the most unhealthy nation in the world. So this goes back to like social healthcare a little bit, right? So if we were to open up the world, the nation for socialized healthcare, do you know it would take like 3 years for anybody to get an appointment?
Are you serious?
Yes, because everybody would be rushing to the doctor. We are so unhealthy. Schmilla is heart disease, which you can't see until it's like there. You know what I mean? And it's just it would take so long to get in. Not only to mention that people are living paycheck to paycheck now, they'd be taking even more money out of your taxes, out of your payroll, to fund this social health care.
Savage, here's a little food for thought, right?
Okay.
Talking about people, the loneliness trends and all that stuff. People's lives, especially those with, unfortunately very few friends, very few people they can associate with, their lives have begun to revolve around social media.
Sure.
So by doing that, you lose what we used to refer to as, and you know what it is, people skills.
Right.
Right. So now when they do go into public and, try to meet people, it's awkward. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to talk. Right. So it's really hard for them to make that human connection, to make that bond, It's very unfortunate, but again, that also can be traced back to this new social media trend we got going on.
Exactly.
Well, the bar is set so low now. It's even if you like have a genuine conversation with somebody and it's like back and forth discourse, it's like amazing because most people make a comment and then a silent. They can't keep up with the conversation. They can't make the conversation flourish.
Yeah, this experiment called social media is destroying marriages at high rates. The divorce rate probably right now in 2026, just alone from last year in 2025, is probably at anywhere between a 45 to 50%. And I'm not just using it for theatrics or special effects to draw up the conclusion of it. No, I mean it's as high as that. The marriages are not sticking anymore. The connections are not there. You have men and women, right, in the marriage, right, the husband or the wife on social media for like 10 plus hours a day, communicating with people, and that's their life. That is been embedded into their everyday livelihood.
And you know what they do when they get home? You know what they do? You know what they do when they get home? They get on their phones, they get on their computers, and they don't communicate with each other. They're still doing the social media thing. There's no interaction with their spouses, There's none. There's no, and that's why the marriages are failing, because you've got two people that just don't know each other. They don't know each other. They could communicate better with each other if they would text each other. Instead of just sitting there having a conversation, sharing a meal, going for walks, go out, and they don't do that. There's no physical interaction even at the home anymore. That's why kids and parents don't get along, because everybody's on their tablets.
No, he's good. No, that's Tom for you. Tom makes sure he wants to land his plane there. You get land the plane next time, Tom. Jesus.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
It's savage. It's funny you bring this up because actually I was in a live earlier, TikTok live.
Sure.
And I was asking, I asked the ladies on the panel, I said, when you, like, how much sleep do you get? And they're like, well, I sleep like 3-4 hours a night. And then I said, all right, do you keep your phone next to you? And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, well, okay, why? And they're like,
the difference is, Gravel, are these women traditional nuclear family women that stay home, or are they working women that go to work?
It don't matter.
Well, hold on. You brought up you brought up a theory, Gravel. They sleep next to their phones. Is it because of they're wanting to know, the algorithm setting with this platform, with the lives, or like what's going on with that?
I don't. You know what? I don't know, Savage. I don't know because I'm not a therapist. I don't claim to be one. But I'm like, why do you sleep next to your phone? Are your children with you? And they're like, well,
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because they don't want to miss anything that's going on. They don't want to miss that text message. They don't want to miss that alert that comes from TikTok. Or
the notifications, Tom. That's what you're talking about, right?
They don't want to miss
notifications.
that stuff,
They don't want that notification to be lost in the cloud, whether it's text messaging, whether it's, TikTok lives or Twitter X Spaces or any type of piece of software within Digital Connection. They don't want to miss that. You have people on here. Okay, I spoke to people. And I'm not, I'm not going into, doxing, and I respect privacy. So I'm not bashing anybody by doing this. I'm using it as encouragement. Please, folks that listen to me, whether you're listening to me on TikTok or Rumble or X or even Spotify, right? I am not bashing your character. I'm trying to uplift your character and make it more healthier, because what you're doing, with all due respect, is not healthy. You're destroying yourself, and you're also destroying family relationships as well as marriages and regular partnership with maybe your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You need to stop, literally stop, okay? Because again, no one wants to, die an old lady or die an old man alone. I mean, and that's what we're seeing right now. I'm sorry. I'm being honest.
Fans of the traditional nuclear family where the wife stayed home and raised kids and made sandwiches, or do you like the new wave where women wear pants and stuff like that?
I think women working, a woman can go out and work and have a job, and it can still be different if when she's done working, she shuts the phone off. There was a lady that was a reporter, a big reporter for some network.
I've seen that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And she said that she found out that she was constantly on her phone. Her phone was constantly in her hand, whether she was working or not. And she dawned on her, and she goes, you know what? When I'm not working, I'm shutting this thing off. And she would shut it off. And
since you're on the cell phone, Tom, I want to bring in something from RFK, right? Literally on the importance of cell phone free schools. And this is going to go towards our youth, guys. Check this video out.
Cell phones also produce electromagnetic radiation, which has been shown to do neurological damage to kids when it's around them all day, and to cause cellular damage and even cancer. So a cell phone use and social media use on the cell phone has been directly connected with depression, with poor performance in schools, with suicidal ideation, with substance abuse, and it's the other countries that have done this. The states that are doing this have found that it is a much healthier environment when kids are not using cell phones at school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Secretary, and the teachers love it.
The kids are not using cell phones in school. They're more alert. They're more engaged in the material, the study. And I mean, I give credit for RFK Jr. bringing that in. Again, some of us on the panel on TikTok, would you agree if we were to maybe suspend the cell phone use while while materials or just take it away altogether? Like,
I say take them all away. Take them away when they're in school. Take them out. I mean, have them all put them.
I don't think so at all. My daughter had a lockdown in school, and she was able to message me from the closet and then tell me that they were in a lockdown right now. I don't think that it's with everything that goes on in school. I think that the communication factor is very important. If a teacher's mistreating them, they should be able to.
Rosa, I'm talking about everyday use. That's emergency use. I'm not talking about emergency use. Yeah.
Right, but in school, they require their cell phones if they want to contact someone for an emergency situation. If they want to contact their parents.
Rosa, I do have a
video
question
record a
for you.
student being mistreated.
Rosa, I got a question for you though. Like, let's say, God forbid, something like that happens, and I the extreme stuff. What are you going to do if your child is like, oh, there's somebody in the classroom, or there's somebody?
Go to the school with my Second Amendment. You don't even know. They had in the high school. They had a situation. They had ATF agents or whoever the agents are working, and they opened the door and they showed the firearm. The cops showed the firearm coming first before the officer. So it was like they opened the door, and I'll bring up the video if you want. It's scary.
No, you're talking about Uvalde.
No, I'm talking about my child's high school.
Guys, I'm talking about that's emergency. I'm sure that the principal, the teachers, the staff are they're going to let the children contact their parent or guardian. I'm sure that's going to happen.
Give out the cell phones back to the children as they're having an immediate emergency situation. No, the children should have their cell phones on them.
Not all the time, because it's a distraction from the classroom.
No, you shouldn't be able to take your cell phones out, and you should get highly penalized if you do, or a court doing that.
Yeah, but you're going into emergency purposes, Rosa. That's emergency purposes.
It's not even an emergency purpose. If a student's getting into altercation with another student, and the school doesn't have cameras like that, and you want to record exactly verbatim what's happening, or if a student's being mistreated by a teacher, and you want to record the situation so you can report the teacher, and it's not like teacher versus student who's telling the truth. Like, they should have their cell in order to call parents. Like I said, if there's a threatening situation, have them on them at all times.
That's the only thing I disagree with. I think there's too much distraction with cell phones. Non-emergency purposes, yes, the distraction's there. But again, I will agree with you. If there's an emergency, I'm sure, I am almost guaranteed that the teachers and other educators in that building will allow those students to take their cell phones out of their pocket to contact their parent or guardian.
Right. But they should have their cell phones on them. They're being required right now to put their cell phones in a box when they get into the class.
And they should. They should.
That means they're not going to be able to access their cell phones in a speedy
No. Of course they will.
If you're putting all your cell phone, yes, they are. They're making them put them in lock bags, like bags that lock. Yes, they are. This is what they're advocating for.
And they should. They should. You know why they should? Because the cell phones go. Hold on. The cell phones go down when education starts. All right. The Snapchat or whatever the hell it's called, that goes away temporarily when history class starts or grammar class starts. Yeah, that goes away. Yeah.
But the fact that now they're advocating for children to have to put their cell phones with all the other kids' cell phones in the classroom in a box when they go into the classroom. So then they have to divvy up the cell phones and hand them back to the right students after. You're not going to be able to do that in a manner where there's a school shooter.
We can't walk around and live life with the possibility of an emergency happening.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't, because it just doesn't happen all the time.
Their cell phones on them and be told that they cannot take them out like they are right now. They shouldn't be able to impute actions where you're obligated to put your cell phone in a box or a basket with all the other students' cell phones when you walk into the classroom. That's what I'm saying.
That's been tried. And that's how we got to where we're at now. They've tried
how we
to
got
allow
to where we are
children
now
to do
is
that.
George W. Bush making No Child Left Behind clause.
No, they've tried to let children have their phones in schools and be self-accountable and not, say, hey, you can have it in your book bag, you can have it in your pocket, don't use it in class.
Right, so the punishment for doing that should be much more severe. Do you know they outdid with detention in my school? They don't keep kids after school anymore for detention. They don't do that.
Well, that's another program. That's another program talking about.
Okay, so Rosa, I understand, like your mother, I understand where you're coming from. But I do have to ask you, Rosa, and I appreciate your response. But like let's say your kids are home safe with you, they're asleep and everything else. do you keep your phone next to you, like in case somebody Facebooks you or Instas you or, TikToks you, whatever? Are you like, oh my God, I gotta stop my health, my sleep, because somebody messaged me?
Gravel, I'm an insomniac, so when I'm out, I'm out. Moreover, I don't even have notifications set up on my phone, so I don't even receive notifications if someone messages me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I don't care for the notifications. When I go on the app, that's when I see who messaged me.
Hell, I rarely ever check my notifications.
So if somebody ever said to you, like, hey, I got a real problem and I'm like like nothing is serious, like nobody's being hurt or anything like that, are you like, oh my God, I got to get involved? I'm asking you as a woman. Like, I'm what
wondering. Kind of situation, Gravel?
All right, I got to stop it. I got to step in, Gravel, if I may. Okay, so here's the issue here. Here's the issue, okay? If you have to have your cell phone next to you 24 hours a day, literally 24 hours a day, okay? And you cannot put it away for more than
5 minutes.
5 minutes. That's a good example, Tom. 5 minutes, okay? With all due respect, there's something seriously wrong.
You're addicted. It's an addiction. It's like drugs. It's not any different than drugs. Oops, I said the D word. Sorry.
We can't say that. God, that's a restriction.
But it's an addiction. It is an addiction. Having that thing in your hand is an addiction. And you want proof of that? When your kids come home from school, are they still walking around with the phones in their hands? Are they still on the phone all day long? Take the phone away from them and watch how crazy they get.
Oh yeah, they go berserk.
So they do their homework. And stuff like that. We get done with dinner and then they can have their phones back.
No, don't give them back. No, when they're at home, no phones. Period.
Damn, old school Tom coming in there.
I am. I'm a boomer. We never grew up with any of that stuff. Yeah. We didn't need all the phones. We didn't have no phones in school. We went to school, we learned. And if things happened in school that we didn't like or something, we told our parents when we got home.
Well, here's the video. Guys, check out this video from President Trump, right, on depression. This is President Trump literally speaking on depression here. You're going to really want to pay attention to this because this is actually interesting. Here you go. Check this out.
You know the best way to stop depression? Work your ass off. You don't have time. You want to work so hard that you don't have time for depression.
There's something else I want to add to that.
Hold on, Rosa. 1 second. Tom wants to add to that.
And he's hit onto something because what are you doing when you're working? You're busy. You're busy with your hands. We're a creation. The way we're created to build and do stuff with our hands. Yeah. What's the Bible say? Idle hands is the devil's playground. Yeah. The problem today is no one is working with their hands. No one's creating anything. No one's building anything. No one has any hobbies anymore. We're not using our hands. When you use your hands, you use your brain, you use your imagination. That's one thing we have lost in society. And how come have we lost it? Our telephones do everything for us. Our telephones do everything for us. We don't have to do anything anymore, Exactly. And that's what our kids don't go outside and play anymore. There's no imagination. No one has an imagination anymore.
Hold on a second, because in regards to the kids going outside to play, it used to take a village to raise a child. Now neighbors don't even talk to each other. You know what I mean? You used to be able to be like, okay, call your neighbor and be like, okay.
Hold on, Rosa. I like you a lot. You're an intelligent woman, but why am I starting to see excuse here? Why are people starting to have excuse for everything about what we're discussing here? I mean, this shouldn't be labeled as an excuse. This should be labeled as a concern because we're seeing people that just don't know how to put the damn thing away. You know what I mean?
We have a mental problem because people don't have anything that occupies their time. No one's reading books anymore. No one's doing hobbies, Yeah. No one's building things with their hands. No one's creating anything.
By the way, guys, I just literally, did you see me what I just did there? I just lost connection with TikTok. Apparently, I struck a chord and I just got my damn live taken down.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do apologize those that are on TikTok. Yeah, that's what just happened. But I agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
You know why? Because the truth, they don't want the truth out there. They want people mentally disturbed. They want people not thinking right. That's what they want. They don't want anybody critically thinking. They don't want anybody free thinking. And that's why you get knocked down, because you're starting to strike a chord with what the problem is. And the problem is people need to break away from this social media crap and get away from it and start thinking for themselves. Stop eating all the crap that the left and the Democrats and the communists and everybody's feeding you through media.
You know, I like I said to Rosa, I like her. I've spoken to her a couple times on TikTok, okay? But as soon as I put that video in with President Trump, it's like she immediately, like, again, with the excuses. Like, I agree with President Trump is saying.
Yeah.
If you work hard, there will be no depression. If you work your ass off, there will be no depression. If you work literally from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m, yeah, you're going to be tired. Are you going to be depressed a little bit? Every now and then you will be, but it's going to uplift your fucking soul, man.
Yeah.
Literally.
And then when you get home, you get home, what do? You're done with work. Okay, so you want to free your mind. You know what you do? You pick up that little hobby you had. Maybe you're making furniture. Maybe you're doing a puzzle. Maybe you're reading a book. You're feeding your brain with the things that you find in leisure time. Nobody has any leisure time anymore because it's all occupied by people with wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. That's what's taking up everybody's time, and that is mentally drained. Now, let me jump back to that. What that lady said.
Real quick, because we're losing time on the show. I just had my producer tell me we got to kick it off here soon. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that guy with what Senator Kennedy said about the electromagnetic, the electric stuff on the phone. When you have a house and people are sick in the house all the time, they're mentally they're not feeling good. They're sick. One thing they check when they go into a house, they check an EM meter in there, electromagnetic meter in there, and they check the electrical system. Because it's not just the phone, it's the way houses are wiring. They're giving off electromagnetic waves, and it affects us mentally. That is not a theory. That is a proven fact about electromagnetic fields interrupting and causing us to lose.
This had been a Truth Productions media episode. Thank you for listening.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.